Welcome to episode 26 of Cowboy Bebop. This is the final episode. It's not the last Cowboy Bebop video because there's also the movie, but this is the final episode of the show and the end of the story. I've heard the movie is meant to take place a little bit earlier in the chronology, so this will be wrapping up the story. We had part 1 of the Real Folk Blues last time, so I want to see how it ends. We're going to watch and discuss. I have the subtitles and the timer on the screen if you want to follow along, or you can pull up the episode on your own. But either way, let's go with the final episode in 3, 2, 1, play. Feels kind of crazy to be at the end, but here we are. Like I said, there is still the movie, and I will watch that too, but this is the end of our story as far as I know, so I don't know what the movie's about at all, but it's like I said, as far as I know, so we don't get the opening at the very beginning. I hope we still get it. I want to hear the opening one more time. But picking up right where we left off with Julia holding a spike at gunpoint. It was a little more complicated than that. Yeah. But she didn't do it. Can you do that? Just go run off and live together? I don't know if it would be that simple. Here we have Shin coming onto the scene of Vicious's takeover. Yeah. I don't think he would make it that simple for the two of you to just go off and live your own lives. What are you gonna say? Got away, huh? Is he going to know? Is he going to know that you helped Spike out? I don't know if things are going to go well for old little Shin here. What's up? He doesn't have his bird anymore. It blew up. All right, let's go. Things look a little ransacked. Haven't seen her in a very long time. And she's not doing well. They came looking for him. Did not leave her alive. Decided to finish her off too. I mean, they left her alive, but you know what I mean. Doesn't look good. Be surprising for her to see her, huh? Yeah, they're cleaning up all the loose ends, looking for Spike and her. It's not going to be as simple as just going off to live together somewhere. We got to settle this issue. Let's gear up. That's not what we're doing. It's not going to happen that way. I think you know that. Spike can't help it. He's not just going to move on from it. He's going to go after him. What are we going to get about... Oh, man, like, I really want to see how that all plays out. But then there's, everybody else, too. Jet and Faye. I don't know if we'll see Ed or Ryan. I want to see how they're all doing, too. But I also really want to see how this wraps up with Spike and Julia and Vicious. Can't walk quite right, but he's doing okay. Yeah. You can act like you don't care. You've tried that before. It's not convincing. Well, shit. Yep, we've got a bit of a scene going on here. These guys are not going to lay off. That was close. Same with last episode. A lot of shootouts. A lot of guys getting blown away. Pretty brutal. Pretty entertaining to watch as well. Is she okay? Oh, well, if she was, she's not anymore. That was a really good moment with his quick turn and close up on his face. I'm like, okay, cool, he got him, but then bam. Didn't get him fast enough. She got hit in the back. What a shot that is. After all that, he finally got back with her. He finally reunited with her. And just like that, some random goober, and she's done. Just like that. God damn. Oh, Spike. You poor bastard. Jesus. Well, now he's just gonna rush in there. It's gonna be like that. It's gonna be like back in the day where everybody thought he died. Gonna rush in there, guns a-blazing, get himself killed. Huh? What? Jet's like, okay. It kind of seems like it. Will Spike rush in and die? Will he finish this and be able to move on? Will we see Ed and Ein ever again? He does, though. He can return to the Bebop, but he's just not going to do that. You know he's going to go after him. He's actually here. He's coming in like nothing happened. You have anything to eat? Okay, Jet told him his little story last time. Now we get one from Spike. Pretty clear parallel here. It lost its love, and then it died too. Same, just like the one Jet told him. Well, I'm glad we got to have this moment between them. I was worried that they would never see each other again. It's for me. She's gonna try to get him not to go. Yeah, well, he couldn't quite practice what he preached. That's definitely true. Yep. I don't remember which one, but like he said before, they could escape and it would be like a dream. I think that's what he said. She remembers her past now. Yeah. But you have this place. You can find a new place. People like these guys. Kind of seems that way. Damn, she's really against him going, but she's not going to shoot the man. And we really didn't get the opening this time. All they can do is stay here and let him go. To see Faye break down into tears like that. I mean, that's sad, but it's good to see that she's realized how much she cares about them and having this place to return to. Sitting up there on the throne, walking up with this music playing. All right, here we go. Not quite Ballad of Fallen Angels level with the type of music that's playing, but it's still a very good scene. The music works so well. Going up. Got to fight his way through all these guys. Get to the boss at the very top. Be careful standing out in the open like that. Yeah, exactly. Shin. All right, well, you've got some assistance. You've got some backup. Good. That's definitely helpful. Planting explosives all over this place. Bye, Shin. There he goes, too. Everybody from Spike's past. Anyone from before, like Lynn, now Annie, Julia, Shin. Now it's just you two. Will there be anyone left alive by the end? All right, we have our standoff. He's not in the best shape. Damn, just took it. Holy shit. This is a good looking fight scene. The tension. Damn. That looks like a... I don't know how... Okay. Whoa. There was a long buildup of tension there, all to that one moment. That looked like a big ass slash on Spike. I wasn't sure how bad the bullet wound was for Vicious, but he fell first, so clearly it was a solid hit. But that looked like a bad cut. That was a very short, quick little fight, but it looked really nice. And that was a really good build up at the end. So I guess that did it. Took him down just like that. And he just comes stumbling out of the place. Pretty fucked up. These guys are like, there's no point. Like I said, would there be anybody left? And it doesn't seem like it. Looks like that's how Spike's journey is going to come to an end. Which is a shame. Felt like that could easily have been where it was going, but I was hoping it wouldn't be the case. And there we have it. Let's see what else we have here during the ending. So that's it, huh? That's how we finish it off? I need to stop and reflect on that for a little while. Let that kind of sink in. Just like that. Well, like I said, we also have the movie, something else that I'll do. But for now, this has been the end of the show. That was an interesting ride. Seems like there's still a good amount of time left. So we'll keep it running and see if there's anything else. But yeah, we'll have more discussion after, of course, for the rest of the video. But for now, I'm just thinking about that ending. Initial thoughts, it's a pretty fitting end. I guess Ed and Nine, we didn't get to see them anymore. They went off to go find their own place, do their own thing, and that was the end of their story. Last things we see of Jed and Faye are them on the Bebop, Faye in tears. And Spike. Story did not end well. It'll be a little weird to watch the movie now. That's conclusive, pretty fitting end. You know, I'll just treat the movie as its own separate, fun little story. But yeah, that's as an ending that definitely works. I don't know if we're going to say anything else. But I'll just sit through this, listening to the ending song here. And the star dies out. Okay, looks like we get this one final image. Man, the music in this show adds so much. And there it is. You're going to carry that weight. And it looks like that is it for Cowboy Bebop. Alright, that is it for Cowboy Bebop. I'm still going to do the movie, but that is the end of the show and the end of Spike's journey. And I'll give some general recap thoughts about the series at the end, but for now, this finale on its own, the second part of Real Folk Blues, a pretty solid ending, definitely enjoyable, definitely leaves you kind of with a sad, empty feeling towards the end. It's not a very happy ending in many ways, and I'm just sitting there watching the camera pan up, listening to this music, watching just space, the star going out, that final shot in black and white at the end. You just kind of sit there and let it soak in, let the atmosphere sink in, and everything that just happened sink in. Because it's a tragic one, for sure. Spike, Julia, this guy we just recently met, Shin, the woman who we hadn't seen in a long time, Annie, all these people related to Spike and Spike himself end up dying. And I've heard some people say, just upon looking it up just now, that it's ambiguous whether or not Spike survives, and some people say maybe he did, some people think that he did. I didn't get that at all. I didn't feel like it was meant to be even remotely ambiguous. Maybe what Watanabe has said, maybe he has said that it is, but to me it seemed pretty clear that he died. Him falling over, surrounded by the guys, camera panning up, doves flying off, continuing to pan up and up into space with this music playing, the star fading out, and that final shot of his face. All completely communicated to me that he was dead. If it was meant to be ambiguous, I think it failed. That seems to me like death. You could technically argue that he could have survived, because yeah, Spike has survived some crazy shit like that before. But with the presentation of the scene, it really communicated to me that he was dead, and I really don't see much room for interpretation for it. You technically could, and I'm not going to say that you're just wrong, but to me it really comes through that he died at the end, which felt like where it was going. I was hoping it wouldn't be the case, that maybe we could avoid that happening, but it really felt like that's where it was headed, and I think that's a pretty good ending for it. I think things could have worked out well too, with him surviving, but I do like the way that it played out. He was always attached to his past, couldn't escape it, couldn't let it go. Of course, we have the thing with the fake eye, the one that sees the present, one that sees the past, which I talked about when that was first introduced, which was really interesting, and how he says that it's been like he was just living a dream this whole time. Like, that was his life back then with Julia, and ever since then, it's just been like a weird, hazy dream that he hasn't even really been alive for, and that is what makes him feel alive. Like he says, I'm not going there to die, I'm going there to see if I'm really alive, to go back to that past with Julia. That's where he feels alive. That's just what he needed in order to be able to move on in any way. He couldn't let his past go. He had to go confront it, because doing that was the only way he could feel alive again. And to have that taken from him so quickly, to get back there, and for Annie to die, for Julia to die just like that, after all this time, after being reunited, after so long, just like that. And she's telling him, let's run away. And we know he can't do it. He knows he can't do it. There's no running away from this. Vicious, literally, will not let you. He will always be coming after you, which really kind of symbolic of just, in general, his past will always be with him, and he cannot just run away. He needs to confront it. And the fact that she dies so quickly, just like that, just from a random gunman, gets a good shot in. As soon as they came outside through that door, there were, I think, crows, which kind of, when I saw that, I was like, that seems like a bad omen. And then sure enough, she dies right after that. I'm glad Spike got the chance to go back to Jet and Faye one more time. I was worried that they just wouldn't see him again at all. But of course, trying to pretend that they don't care when really they do, and they can't help but admit that. And I really like the story between Spike and Jet, just like the story that Jet told him last time. Now he comes up with another tale that obviously parallels with his own life. And Faye, this was just really great for her. showing so much emotion over this, telling him how hypocritical he had been and saying, you can belong here, you do have a place you can belong, don't do this, don't throw your life away, like pointing the gun at him, being in tears. That's the last shot we see of her, I think, crying that he left, which like really hits hard with everything that Faye's been through and her relationship with the rest of the crew, that she was that affected by the fact that Spike left, that the final shot we see of her is in tears. That's like one of the most memorable things in this episode, because Faye has become probably my favorite, and so that's just a really sad shot to end with her. It's a sad shot to leave her on. And we don't see Ed and Ein at all, so that was the end for them. They went off to go do their own thing, find their own purpose, and that's it. They don't come back to, meet up with Jet and Faye later on. It's just Jet and Faye now on the Bebop, which is really sad. Like, again, thinking about it from Faye's perspective, after everything she went through, and now finally having this other new place to move on to and new people to connect with. Ed and Ein leave. Spike goes off and gets himself killed. And she has Jet. And they can still have a life. They can meet other people and do other things, but it's sad that as soon as she accepts this new family that she can be a part of, it's just mostly gone. And Jet, of course, being like the father in this whole weird family, they're mostly gone now too, and he's almost alone again. Spike confronted his past, and basically everyone from that past ended up dead, and it took him down along with it. Really good fight between him and Vicious, just the whole scene. It wasn't on the same level as Ballad of Fallen Angels, just the atmosphere of that scene and the music was fantastic, and it coming out of nowhere so early on in the series, that's still like the highlight. But this was good too. Just him going through these waves of guys. Just the gunplay in these last few episodes in general has been really good. The shootouts have been really solid, really brutal when all these people are getting mowed down. The music was good. The fight was good with Vicious. Very quick, but it did its job. It looked really great. Animation and directing and everything. And that one long buildup of tension towards the end. I was holding my breath like, someone move. And then they finally did in this one quick burst to finish it off, which was really great. Just seeing the big wound that Spike got and Vicious going down. It was really quick, but it was effective for what it was doing. The only thing I wish had been different about this finale is that I wish Shin had been introduced earlier, because he just kind of showed up last time, like, oh, Lin had a brother, so I guess you're here now. So maybe it could have been a little more impactful having him around, having him die had we known him earlier. But other than that, I think it was a really good finale. And overall, I definitely enjoyed Cowboy Bebop. I don't hold it on the same level as a lot of people do. I know a lot of people consider it an absolute masterpiece and one of their favorites. It's not one of my favorites, but I think it was good. It's just episodic series, a lot of the times, don't appeal to me as much as, a continuous plot line does. It can. There can be some episodic shows that I really love, but just inherently it's kind of more difficult to really impact me with episodic shows, because it can be difficult, especially when you're trying to do serious storylines. I think a lot of the episodic stories for Cowboy Bebop, I think a lot of the ones that I preferred were the more funny, lighthearted ones, because that's just easier to pull off. Like Pierrot LeFou was fantastic, Cowboy Funk was funny, Mushroom Samba. When you're trying to tell a serious story to get you emotionally invested in 20 minutes, because it's just episodic with these new characters that we just met, that can be really difficult, like Boogie Woogie Feng Shui being like the epitome of it. We had to learn about this man's existence, that he died, that he had a daughter, Jet's relationship with the two of them, the fact that he may be alive, finding that he is alive, then him actually dying, plus the whole Feng Shui concept, all in 20 minutes. And it's like, that was a lot, so it can be really difficult to do. There were definitely good episodic, serious ones. The serious episodes I preferred were mostly the ones that really had the most development for the main cast. Ballad of Fallen Angels was fantastic. My Funny Valentine was good. I actually preferred Speak Like a Child, mostly for that ending scene for Faye. 24, Hard Luck Woman was good. And then other episodes I liked. Again, Pierrot LeFou was one of my favorites. Jupiter Jazz, two-parter, was really good. And yeah, there were definitely great episodes, and the highs of Cowboy Bebop are like some of the highest highs, mostly in the presentation. The art and animation and setting and details and directing and music, obviously the music, is some of the best of all time. If somebody said it was the very best of all time, I wouldn't even consider arguing with you. But the stories themselves, some of them are great. Most of them were good or alright, and some of them were kind of subpar. Didn't really care for Toys in the Attic all that much. Wild Horses, Boogie Woogie Feng Shui, Black Dog Serenade was kind of boring. Heavy Metal Queen. There were some that were just kind of like, oh, that was okay. It just kind of happened. So, I can't say that I consider the show amazing when it has plenty of individual stories that were just alright or just good. But it has a lot of great in it, and the show overall, I would say, is good. And I definitely appreciate what people like it for, again, its presentation, which is absolutely top-notch and incredible. And the atmosphere, tone, and the mood, and the pacing and everything. And it's been interesting watching it subtitled, which is apparently the worst crime you can ever commit in your life. I know people like the dub. I'm sure it's fine. I watched the sub. I like subs. I don't like dubs. I don't care if you like dubs. You can watch dubs. That has nothing to do with my life. I wanted to watch the sub because I like subs, and it was good. I really grew to like Faye's voice a lot. I wasn't sure how I felt about it at first, but I grew to like it a lot. Jets was great. Ed was great. I enjoyed the voice acting quite a bit. It was an interesting series to react to because so much of it is really about the atmosphere and kind of just letting things soak in, listen to the music, let the setting wash over you, and I have to talk. So, there are parts where I have to talk over that kind of stuff. But still, it'll be interesting to rewatch on my own sometime, but still think that mostly affected me, as it should, regardless of talking over it. And, again, maybe I'll watch the dub one day too. I've given my reasons for watching the sub. It's just, I think it's easier to do that when I'm doing reactions, mostly because I don't want to talk over dialogue. I was watching a show the other day with my girlfriend, and someone on the show was telling a joke, and I think we laughed, or we said something, and then we didn't hear the punchline. Like, I guess we got distracted by something else in the buildup of the joke, and then he said the punchline, and we didn't hear it, because we had said something else over it, and that's what happens when you have to listen to dialogue. And I have to talk in a YouTube video that has to be entertaining, which means I have to be talking as much as possible. So I don't want to talk over things and not hear them. Or make you not hear them if you're watching the dub along with me, I can read and talk at the same time. I don't want to be talking and then somebody starts talking in the show and I have to be like, oh, wait, I have to stop talking. Oh, wait, did I miss what they said? Did I miss the first word of their sentence? And blah. And I'm not doing a 10-minute highlight. I'm doing the whole reaction here, so I'm trying to talk as much as I can. And I just think for the format, for me, sub works best, and just in general, I prefer subtitled anime. And if you've never watched the sub of Cowboy Bebop, give it a shot. I know a lot of people like the dub because they grew up with it. It's not always the case. Some people just genuinely think it's better. That's fine if you think that, but I know some people just grew up with the dub or experienced the dub first. The sub is worth checking out. It was good. Give it a chance, and yeah. No need to talk about that anymore. Whatever, who cares? Like I said, Faye became my favorite. Definitely wasn't the case early on, but she really grew to be a really good character. That scene at the end of episode 18 really did it for me and made me really connect with what she was going through. I can relate to a lot of things that she's felt and just her journey here, and especially ending the way that it did. I really enjoyed her story a lot. Ed was really fun, along with Ein. I wish they could have had more to do and been in it more. That was kind of disappointing that they didn't really get as much as I would have liked, but they were fun just to be around. And you have our main duo of Jet and Spike, and Spike's story ending here. Again, really tragic, and just really hits home with the themes that have been present the whole way through about being so connected to your past, being unable to let go and move on, and trying to find a place and a purpose in your life, and definitely did a good job communicating a lot of its ideas, and it was fun, because of the presentation being as solid as it was always interesting to see what we were going to get every week. Because you never knew a lot of the time if we're going to have something very focused on character development, a fairly serious, sad, episodic story, something totally goofy and fun like Pierrot Le Fou, but just seeing anything in this setting was enjoyable. I don't have too much else to say. Like I said, the presentation was basically perfect. Mostly the writing and character work and everything was really strong. It's just that it's episodic and not every episode is outstanding. A lot of them are just good or just alright. So overall, the show falls under good for me. Has a lot of great episodes and great things. But yeah, I did enjoy it. I'm glad I got to watch it because it's obviously, it's a classic. It's a very important show that a lot of people love. I'm glad that I was able to watch it myself and share this with you. Don't get mad at me for liking the sub, please. Don't get mad at me for not thinking it's a 10 out of 10, please. I'm excited to watch the movie and see what that's like. And yeah, we can continue talking about Cowboy Bebop in the comments or on Discord or wherever. I'd like to have more discussion about it for sure. Let me know anything you want about the finale or the series as a whole. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the videos. Check out all the description stuff down below. Like I said, I will be doing the movie next week, and then we'll be moving on to a new show for Fridays. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you next time.